Hmm? Where? Where what? Structure equal to what is that? What is that structure? BAPI underscore T underscore what? MEPO header. MEPO header. Done. So when I execute now, I got this. But this entire thing is showing as a one entry, na? Because this entire thing is value part one. What is the size of that? Character of 240. Understood? It is showing this entire as one value. But I want to extract individually. I want this part, I want this part. Huh? Oh, splitter. When I'm printing value part 1, what is the size of this? Character of 240, which contains the concatenation of commutator name and commutator address. But my requirement is, I'm reading the data. Assume that I'm having one database table which stores the commutator details, and this table contains two fields. What are they? Commutator name and what? Commutator address. So when I'm inserting, I have to insert a separate field. Na? So I have to extract it field by field. So what I have to do? Hmm? This contains concatenation of entire customer specific fields, but I want it individually. Hmm? Split on what? Entire data is stored in only one field. Entire data is stored in value part 1 only. It's already concatenated. So what I have to do? Split on what? Split on size of what? Correct. Which field name? So what is the logic? Yeah, simple thing is where you added the additional fields, BAPI underscore T underscore MEQ header. MEQ header. So see a simple technique. Data W underscore what? Data W underscore what? PO underscore T underscore what? Header. Type what? BAPI underscore T underscore MEPO header. Okay, so what I'll do here I'll say WA underscore what? PO underscore T underscore header equal to what? W underscore extension out hyphen what? Value part 1. Value part 1. Okay, let me check whether it works or not. Then I'll say write what? Computator name is what? W underscore PO underscore T underscore header hyphen what is the field names? CZ computator name and this is computator what? Address. What is this? Huh? Underscore not there. Huh? Underscore. So now, right when I execute, I got computer name is what? ABC technology. I got a separate entry now, separate fields. Okay, so here actually I need not use loop also. Directly I can use read. I can directly use what? Read. Read table what? T underscore extension out into W underscore what? Extension out with key what? Structure is equal to what? Battery underscore T underscore MEPO what? Header. That's all. No? If size of R is equal to 0, I'll say W underscore PO underscore TE underscore header equal to what? W underscore extension out hyphen what? Value part 1. Okay, so if I put the breakpoint here, yeah, to see this W underscore extension out, not necessary. Let me read it. So I got the data into what? W underscore what? Extension out. W underscore what? Extension out hyphen what? Value part 1. It contains a combination of what? Commutator name and so on. And if you see this one, W underscore PO underscore TV header is a what type? Is a what type? BAPI underscore T underscore what? PO header. PO header. Okay, so if you see that, what are the fields it contains? Header. What are the fields it contains? Three fields: PO number, ZZ commutator name, ZZ commutator address. So if you see this, hyphen what? PO underscore number, W underscore PO underscore what? T underscore header hyphen, ZZ commutator name, W underscore PO underscore T underscore header hyphen, ZZ commutator what? Address. All are blank. Okay. So when I assign it, value part 1 will be assigned to this one. So just I want to check how it is assigned. When I say F5, good. So that part is coming and sitting in what? ZZ commutator name, and this is coming in what? ZZ commutator address. Then I have printed it. That's all. Done. So this is the way to work with what? Extension out parameter. Done. That's all. This is a concept of what? BAPI extension. So what you do as exercise is you try to take other BAPIs. What are the BAPIs which you know? Hmm? I see 37. What is that? BAPI underscore what? Material underscore what? Save data. Do we have extension in parameter for this? Huh? We have what? Extension in parameter. What is the type? BAPI per X. BAPI per X. But I don't know whether documentation is available or not. I'll put the cursor, go to what? Documentation on Z. Read all this. Am I clear? Reference structure for BAPI parameter is what? Extension. You can use this structure so and so, so and so. Yeah, they gave clearly. See here? T underscore what? Mara. Understood? If you added the fields in Mara table, you have to add the fields in what? BAPI underscore T underscore what? You can see the structures. BAPI underscore T underscore name. Name can be what? Mara, MARC, MART, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so how do you proceed? Add the additional fields in Mara table. Okay, and check whether they are automatically added in this structure or not. If they are not added, you have to go and add. Okay, and also in the extension X parameter. T underscore what? Mara X. There you have to add what? Character of what? 1. And then the rest of thing is simple. Just you have to pass it. Is it clear? So far in BAPIS, what are the things we learned is how to work with what? Standard BAPIS and how to work with what? BAPI extension. Done? Okay. Next, we'll have what? BAPI what? Modifications. BAPI modification. Yeah. Before discussing BAPI modification, let me go for what? Creating what? Custom BAPI creation. Custom BAPI creation. Understood? So, if you are putting this in the resume, the interviewer will ask, when you have thousands of BAPI, why you have created your own BAPI? Right? Sudhir, tell me, I'm an interviewer now. Okay, you are having genuine fake experience of what? 3 years. Okay, one of the object you kept as what? Created what? Custom BAPI. Now my question is, when you have thousands of BAPI given by SAP, why you have created custom BAPI? So how do you elaborate? Yeah, if it doesn't meet requirement only, we'll create, but you have to justify that. Anyone?
Custom table.
Correct.
You want to pass data to custom table.
Hmm.
We have to create custom table. Customer
Okay.
required
Hmm.
create custom table, new
Okay.
table.
Okay.
Then only
So what he's saying is, so my understanding what he's saying is, as part of your project, definitely you will create some custom tables. Huh? So assume that I created one custom table. Okay, this is a custom table which I created, like Z what? Something what? Computator, which contains what? Two fields. What are they? Computator name and computator address. So what you are saying is, in order to add the data to this particular table, in order to pass that, you are creating the BAPI. Why I should go for BAPI? You are saying that you have to add the data to this table. But for that, why I should go for BAPI? I can create the table. I can generate the table maintenance using SM30. The end user can maintain the table. Or I can write a simple report program. From there, I can use the insert statement. I can insert the data into this. Why I should go for BAPI?
generate some method which can call for
Other?
other than SAP.
So good. Can you elaborate that?
It generates a link
Which one?
value
Okay.
which can be called from other than SAP. So we go to Sun.
Yeah. What you have to say is, see, you have to tell these stories. Otherwise, you will not understand that they are genuine. You are working for Wipro. Wipro is implementing SAP for what? Something. What? A customer called as what? Yellow Pages. This is what? UK based advertisement company. Okay. Understood. Now, this customer, who is a customer at Yellow Pages, has got one business partner who is running his business in India. Who is running his business in what? India. Okay. Assume that there is something called as what? Free ads. You know this? Free ads. We can freely we can publish our ads. Okay. So this is what company? Yes, Indian-based company. They are running their operations in what? India. Make clear. These two are what? Business partners. Okay. These two are business partners. So this company where I am implementing SAP, they are running their business on what? SAP. Their business partner is running their business on what? Some Java or .NET or something else. Make clear. Now, as part of this LOPS requirement, we'll create what? Some custom table in what? ABAP. Using ABAP, I'll create the custom table. Now my agenda is what? I should be able to supply the data from my SAP system. I should be able to supply the data from what? Java system also. Java system also. So what I have to do now? I need to create what? What? A BAPI function model. Okay, so if it is a BAPI function model, directly I can write a web program, I can do this. Okay, so why I went for BAPI function model is at the time of creating the business object, okay, it will allow us to create what? One method. That method we call it as what? API method. Understood? We call this method as what? API method. So what the legacy programmer will do? He will write the Java program or legacy program. He will say what here? Call method what? API method. So through this API method, they'll pass the data to that additional field. So they'll call only API method, but internally API method will call what? Yes, BAPI function model. Understood? So as a legacy programmer, I don't know what is happening internally. My job is only to what? Call the API method. So you have to explain like this. Understood? So you're working for some company. That company is implementing SAP. That company is running their business on what? SAP system. Our customer, our customer has got some business partners. Those business partners are running their business on what? Non-SAP, don't say Java, non-SAP applications. Non-SAP applications. So our agenda was whatever the business functionality, whatever, don't say table kind of thing, whatever the business functionality I am able to achieve from a SAP system, I should able to access the same business functionality from what? Non-SAP system. What is the business functionality here? I will supply some data. That data should go and insert in what? This table. Understood? So what I'll do, since I want to access that functionality between SAP as well as what? Non-SAP system, we have decided, we in this is what? Team. We have decided to create what? BAPI function model and expose that BAPI function model as a API method so that the legacy programmer can access what? This API method which will internally call what? BAPI function model. So my job here is to create the BAPI function model by following the BAPI standards. Okay, then on top of that BAPI function model, we need to create the business objects associated with what? API method. Then after that, I need to prepare the technical specs which contains the information about what? API method. So our job will end there only. What is that? Preparing the technical specs. That technical specs will be given to whom? To the legacy programmer. By looking at that legacy, by looking at the technical specs, you will develop the legacy program by calling what? API method. What the technical specs contains? It contains the information about the business object. What is the business object type? What is the business object name? What is the API method name? What are the parameter names? What are the data type of the parameters? What is the size of the parameter? Understood? All sizes in length only, na? Right? So all these things you'll document in what? Technical specs. That technical specs will be given to what? Legacy program. Understood? Because when you're calling this function model from ABAP program, blindly will not call. Na? We'll check the signature, right? We'll check what are mandatory, what are optional, what are the parameter names, what is the data type of the parameters, what is the size of the parameter. Similarly, when the legacy programmer is accessing, you should also know that signature. Na? For that purpose, we have to prepare what? Technical specs. So, how do you explain in the entry point of view? How do you put this object? Develop a custom BAPI to access the business functionality from what? SAP and what? Non-SAP systems. Okay. So let the engineer ask what is that? So what you have to say, as part of your project, you have created what? Some custom tables. We need to maintain the data for those tables, both from SAP as well as what? Non-SAP system. Because some of our customer business partners are running their business on what? Non-SAP system. So keeping the business partners in mind, we have created one BAPI, we have created one business object. We have created what? Business object which contains what? API method. And we have prepared the technical specs for that particular business object so that based on the technical spec, the legacy programmer will call what? The API. That's all. That is the way you have to explain. Am I clear? So what are those standards? How to create the business object? All those things I'll discuss tomorrow. So far, what is the T code we have used? BAPI T code, na? What is that? BOR, Business Object Repository. Similarly, we have BOB, Business Object Builder, Business Object Builder. SW, what? SWO1. I guess zero. I think. SWO1, Business Object Builder. Here you have to create what? The business object. What is the business object contains? Collection of what? API methods. One or more API methods. Okay, already we have shown you that. Bus 1011 if I take, it contains what? Attributes, API methods. Every API method is associated with what? The BAPI function model. So for creating the bank, if I double click, what is the ABAP level function model? BAPI underscore bank underscore what? Create. So if I want to create the bank from SAP system, we'll call this. So non-SAP system, the legacy programmer will call what? Create method. That's it. So tomorrow we'll discuss this custom BAPI, and then if everything works fine, I'll develop one non-SAP program, either in Java or .NET or anything. I should be able to access the API method, but you will never do that in the real time. If you want to call this API method, we should have the knowledge of what? That particular legacy program. If it is a Java, I should have Java program. .NET, Visual Basic, Visual Basic. So don't put this in the resume. If you know, yes, you can put, but unnecessarily don't take risk. Okay, anyhow, I'll check whether I can show it practically or not. So if that is available, I can show it. Okay. Let me check whether I can show it tomorrow or not. Okay, I'll check it tomorrow. We should have knowledge of this Visual Basic, then only we can do it. But I'll check whether I can show it practical or not, because this requires some plugins. I'll check it tomorrow. Okay, right? So tomorrow we'll see how to create what custom BAPI. Only one class for that. Once we are done with that, we'll discuss what BAPI modifications. Once we are done with this, we are left over with what LS and using BAPI. So this I cannot discuss now. This will be discussing later on once we complete IDOCs. Okay. So in next 2-3 days we'll complete our BAPI and we'll start either with IDOCs or with what enhancements. Okay. Chalo, I'll wind off. Any questions? You can leave. Right. So we'll continue tomorrow. Okay.